Champions of the West, Glendale, California. And the champions of the South, Naples, Florida. As always, in all-star play, fields are considered neutral. Glendale was determined a home team by a toss of the coin as occupying the third base dugout. I'd like to announce the participants for this afternoon's ball game, starting with the visiting team, the champions of the South, Naples, Florida. Number 17. Number 13, the rover, Melissa Tolson.
Welcome to George Wilson Field.
Number 21 in center field, Victoria Lanier.
In Kalamazoo,
Number 22
Michigan,
in
site
left
of
field, Jana Knizovic.
Little League Softball World Series.
Number 18 in right field, Karen Blanford.
The public press announcer continue with the introduction of the Naples, Florida ball team.
Shortstop, Elizabeth Bartels. Number 9, the catcher, Tanya Brousseau. Number 8 at first base, Crystal Hamilton. Number 7 at second base, Angela Curlew. Manager, George Pittman. Coach, Connie Ledbetter. Joyce Heiss, League Vice President. For the home team, the champions of the West, Glendale, California. Number 7, Wendy West. Number 6, Meredith Kimber. Number 21, Lisa Castillo. Number 14, Cameron Hall. Starting lineup, playing shortstop, number 12, Shannon Felix. Number 18 at second base, Cindy Bennett. Number 11, the rover, Veronica Acosta. Number 22 at first base, Brenda Lyons. Number 20, the pitcher, Tracy Young. Number 17 at third base, Darlene Anderson. Number 13 in right field, April McGeorge. Number 15 in center field, Annabelle Camacho. Number 19, the catcher, Jennifer Smith. Number 3 in left field, Monica Hernandez. Manager, Ron Young. Coach, Frank Kornblatt. President, Gail Young. Umpires for this afternoon's ball game, behind the plate from Kaiser, Oregon, Peace. At first base from East Haven, Connecticut, Ed Rapuano. At second base from Tampa, Florida, Frank Smith. At third base from Vicksburg, Michigan, Terry Coburn. Down the left field line from Mount Nebo, West Virginia, Karen King. And down the right field line from Dunkirk, Maryland, Sue Gillette. If you'd please rise for the national anthem, to be followed by the Little League pledge, given by Amy Bovin of Mattawan Little League.
I will play fair and strive to win, but win or lose, I will always do my best.
I'd like to wish both teams good luck. Let's have a good ball game. Let's play ball.
We have a rematch here of a game that we televised last night. Naples, Florida defeated Glendale, California, 1-0 in just a superb ball game. Now both teams have one loss, and the winner today of this game will be the national champion of the major division in the Little League Softball World Series. Hopefully we're going to have another excellent ball game like we had yesterday, Bob.
These two teams will be hard-pressed to duplicate the efforts they put out last night. 1-0 ball game in a major championship game at this level is practically unheard of, and I just hope that, that both pitchers are able to get the ball across the plate today, and we have another fine ball game. But I doubt very seriously whether we'll see one as exciting as it was last night at 1-0. But these two teams, I'd love to see them prove me wrong.
Well, Bob, we're going to be seeing a couple of superb pitchers. Naples will be throwing Jean Benisi. Jean is 2-0. She's defeated Georgetown 6-3, had 14 strikeouts in that game, and then she defeated Shippensburg, Pennsylvania 8-2. And for Glendale, the young lady warming up on the mound right now, Tracy Young, defeated Shippensburg 6-4. She had a 6-0 shutout going into the last inning, weakened a little bit and gave up 4 runs. She has been extremely tough. The 1-2 punch of her and Cindy Bennett, who is playing second base tonight, has been overpowering throughout the tournament trail. So we're looking for maybe not another 1-0 ball game, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see another pitcher's duel.
I would think we'd see a pitcher's duel. Usually it is in the majors. You can tell by the scores, 2-1, 6-4. They only had one blowout in this whole tournament, and that was where Naples, Florida defeated Indianapolis 14-0. That was a case, I think, where we had just a lot of walks. And I think Naples scored the first 7 runs in that game on walks. And so if the pitchers can get the ball across the plate, we should be in for a good game somewhere, 1 or 2 run game with probably 6-4 runs winning this ball game.
This is the 3rd game we've been fortunate enough to have on Community Access. We'd like to thank the people from Community Access for making this possible. My name's Tim DeHaan. I'll be with you tonight on the play-by-play, and Bob Klein with us again to do the color. And we're ready to start the ball game. Behind the plate, Harry Peace, home plate umpire. Into the batter's box, Jean Benisi, the starting pitcher. Takes the first pitch low for a strike, or for a ball. There's something interesting, Bob. If you look down the right field line, Naples has already got somebody warming up.
A little unusual to have somebody warming up, but they may know something we don't know about Jeannie Benisi as to whether or not she'll be able to go. I think last night we had on Robert I. Murray, who is a longtime Naples manager and follower, and I think, if I recall correctly, he was telling me that Jeannie had a sore knee.
That's correct.
And
there's a little bloop, and a shortstop, Shannon Felez, gets over quickly and puts it away.
Number 13.
Yeah, he indicated that Benisi had somewhat of a tender knee, and that if they did have to go to another pitcher, it would probably be Elizabeth Bartels, and that is who is warming up down the line there. So evidently there must be a little bit of concern about that. Into the batter's box, Melissa Tolson, the rover. We're going to mention again who these people are staying with. Melissa's staying with Dee and Robert Walker. Jean Benisi with Carol and Ed Quan in the West Portage area. Melissa with a 1-1 count on her. Takes that one for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. She hits one to second, and in comes Cindy Bennett, puts that away. Cindy Bennett and Tracy Young
Number 21, playing center
rotate.
field, Victoria
When
Lanier.
one pitches, the other plays second base. A real good 1-2 punch for him. Up to the plate, number 21, Victoria Lanier, the power hitter for Naples. Victoria is staying with Shelley Seward. takes a strike, and Tracy Young's throwing pretty good. Victoria Lanier, Bob, you might have read that in the paper, has the distinction of having the youngest fan here. Her 4-week-old sister is up from Naples, Florida, watching the action.
Well, Victoria hit one last night. She got good metal on the ball and lined it to left center field. We'll see what she can do this afternoon.
She's up there with an 0-2 count on her. Change-up, floats up there, and it's just short. We saw in the senior game that we televised, we saw the winning pitcher of that game for Oregon, Jessica Larson, throw the changeup with a good deal of effectiveness. Pop up, out of play.
Very effective, but I have
Be sure to give the foul balls to the ball girls. Please don't throw them back into the field of play. Thank you.
have to laugh at the catcher for Glendale, California, Jennifer Smith, when somebody asked her where that changeup was. She said short. Most of the time it's high, low, inside or outside, but this one was short. Didn't quite make it to the plate.
Victoria Lanier digging in with a 1-ball, 2-strike count on her. Tracy Young wheels and deals. Another changeup. That's lined down the left field line. Fair ball. Oh, nice arm by it's one of the smallest players in the tournament. Number 3, Monica Hernandez, went over there quick, and she just put a rifle shot over to second base.
She got the ball back into the infield fast.
Excellent arm. Moving to the plate, number 22, Jana Kanizovic, the left fielder.
Remind everyone that at the major level of softball and Little League, there is no leading off. There will be no stealing, no bunting. Should the ball get past the catcher, it is a dead ball.
Jana is staying with Sandra and John Hendricks. Hello, Bob. We might mention that on the local level or the non-tournament level this year in major softball, the ruling or the rule was voted in that they were allowed to bunt and to steal. Pop up down the first base line off the roof of the deck of the first base dugout. In fact, that was almost fielded by Mike Pryson over there. Mike, a former Kalamazooan, used to work for the Kalamazoo Gazette, now with the Naples newspaper, up here with the Naples contingent. They felt that it was probably too early for the major division to go to at least an all-star level to bunting and stealing. However, Bud Vandenberg was talking about that the other night, and he feels that we could see that in the all-star level as soon as next year. It's not definite yet.
Well, I think they'll evaluate the effects of that rule on league play, and when they get together at their board of directors meetings, we'll make a decision.
Jana Kanizovic took that one high, checked her swing, runs the count to full, 3-2. Victoria Lanier on first base with 2 outs, top of the first inning. Naples, Florida against Glendale, California. Strike 3 called, right down the pipe. That ends the inning.
For Naples, top of the first, no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors, 1 left.
In the game last night, Naples was the home team, so we have it just switched around this afternoon. Beautiful sunny day, about 85. Very few clouds in the sky. This is the kind of weather that you just call ideal.
Jean Benici is on the mound for Naples, so she apparently is going to start this game.
This afternoon's ball game is being taped by the Community Access Center. Bob Klein and Tim DeHaan are doing the play-by-play. This will be shown tomorrow on Channel 33. Little League game will be shown at 10 a.m. The senior game will be shown at 6 p.m. Then next Sunday on the 27th, the senior game will be at 10 a.m. Little League at 6 p.m. Anybody wishing to get copies of these games, they have information below the press box. So anybody that would like copies, check with them and they can give you all the information.
Gene Benisi has a real nice fluid motion, brings the ball in at a real nice speed. Like I mentioned earlier, she struck out 14 out of the 18 outs in her opening game in the World Series this week. She doesn't appear to be favoring any kind of knee.
Doesn't appear to be favoring a knee at all, but Jenny Isaacs is warming up in the bullpen out in right field. So
it's the second pitcher that George Pittman has had warming up already, and we're not even, Gene Benisi hasn't even thrown the first pitch. I think George feels he'll throw the kitchen sink if he has to today, because this is it.
Well, there is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. This is it. This is for the National Championship of Little League softball.
And stepping into the plate, the leadoff
Leading off for Glendale, bottom of the first, number 12, playing shortstop, Shannon Felix.
The shortstop, number 12, Shannon Felix. Shannon staying with our friends out in Oakwood area, Nancy and Al DeVries. And quickly she's behind 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes.
Well, Jean's got a sore knee out there. It sure isn't showing, because she brought those 2 balls right into the plate, and they were whizzing.
Hate to have to see her how fast she is with a good knee. And Shannon Felix just kind of waved at that one. That was about 6 inches over her head.
Base, Cindy Bennett.
But she at least wanted to get her cuts in, I guess. And up to the plate is Cindy Bennett, the second baseman. She pitched a fine ball game last night. It was on the losing end of a 1-0 game. And she takes a strike. And Gene Benisi is just throwing the heater at him, right on the money. Line shot, and that gets over the shortstop's head. Base hit, Cindy Bennett. Cindy staying with Sue and Rudy Zeal.
Veronica Acosta.
Up to the plate, number 11, Veronica Acosta. Veronica is the rover, and she's staying with Sue and Bill Carrickman. Takes one low for a ball. Strike across the letters. First. Well, Crystal Hamilton fumbled that ball. She was a little on the deep side, but Gene Benisi very alertly was covering first base and was able to take the throw from Hamilton. They got the 3-1 out. So we have 2 outs now. Up to the plate is Brenda Lyon. That play going 3-1. Retiring Acosta, Brenda Lyon is the first baseman, number 22, left-handed power hitter. She stays with Pam and Wendell Wieringa this week. Glendale with a runner on second, 2 outs. Cindy Bennett on second base. Takes it outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. There's another one. You could hear that leather as the ball popped into it. And that pitch was called a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on second. Bottom of the first, pop up, shortstop. Elizabeth Bartels is under the ball, puts it away for the 3rd out. And at the end of 1, Naples 0, Glendale 0.
For Glendale, bottom of the first, no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors, 1 1 left. After 1 complete inning, Naples 0, Glendale 0.
But Tim, both of these pitchers seem to have their stuff this evening.
Located at Jack's Place. Located at Jack's Place if you want information on ordering the cable access tapes.
And with both of them flying the plate the way they are, firing strikes, I think we're going to be in for maybe a duplication of tomorrow night's ball game. So I may have to eat my words here. We may have another 1-0 ball game here. Both these pitchers are really throwing the ball quite well. And the batters are having a little difficult time getting around on the balls. Plus, at that speed, they're also, as I often say, chasing flies with their bats.
Well, that first run of this ball game is going to be a big run. Whether or not we'll have a 1-0 game, I don't know, but it's going to be a real key to get on top. Just to our left, we have the tent for medical attention for any of the competitors here, and we'd really like to thank Dr. Tom Wilming and the various volunteer staff of nurses and medical trainers who have taken time to come down here. We have every game of the tournament has been staffed. Very few injuries. Probably the most serious injury we've had this week has been a bee sting or two.
The second, number 18, the right fielder, Karen Blanford.
And that doesn't bother us at all. We like to see this tournament go without any injuries whatsoever. There was a couple of years ago, I remember we had some knee injuries, some ankle injuries, and some key ball players that really had to sit out the championship games because of injuries. Boy, you hate to go 6 weeks in the tournament trail and get down to the championship game and then have one of your better ball players on the bench with an ice pack on that ankle or a knee.
At the plate for Naples, leading off the second, right fielder, number 18, Karen Blanford. Karen is also staying with Carol and Ed Quant. The Quants enjoy housing so much, they have 4 of these young ladies at their house this week.
It's a house ball.
And we have a strike call. We got 1 ball, 2 strikes. Behind the plate, Harry Peace from Kaiser, Oregon. Strike 3 swinging. Again, that one up around her eyes. Harry Peace is
number 3,
the
playing third base,
sports editor of the local newspaper in Kaiser, Oregon. So if we see him taking notes behind the plate, it might be he's writing a story while he's umpiring. Nikki Calavides steps up to the plate, wearing number 3 on her back. She's the third baseman. She's an 11-year-old. Not many 11-year-olds make the All-Stars at this level. She's staying with Shelley Seward. And she runs the count to 2-0 now. And as we talked about last night, anybody that watched, she's right up in the front of the box where if she strides, she'll be out of the box, which we feel we've kind of figured that out. That means that she's taken.
She takes the strike and then she moves as far to the back of the box as she was to the front of the box.
And she takes the ball, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike now. One out, top of the second. Naples, Florida batting, Glendale, California in the field. She swings, pops it up. Brenda Lyon hustles in and gloves it in foul territory for the second out of the inning.
Playing shortstop, Elizabeth Bartels.
And number 15, the shortstop, Elizabeth Bartels, comes to the plate. Elizabeth played second base last night. Benisi at short, and a young lady by the name of Angela Curlew threw the shutout last night. Elizabeth is staying with Gail Ginter. She cuts and fouls it behind the plate. Has a count of no balls and 2 strikes on her. I'll tell you what, Bob, I think we could improve our tans a little bit this afternoon.
It is getting warm on this dugout.
Did you get a chance to eat lunch during the break?
The aroma of the kielbasa got to me. I could not get by the stand without grabbing one of those.
I opted for a cheeseburger deluxe while I was taking a little break, and that was pretty good.
The Millwood Optimist Club and the Explorer Scouts have done a super job providing food throughout this whole tournament week.
Another swing and a foul behind the plate off the backstop. 1 ball, 2 strikes now, the count on Elizabeth Bartels. Another foul, and she's hanging tough there.
Just barely getting the bat there.
Well, she's got the count even now at 2-2. Strike 3 called.
Ball, 3rd strike.
And that ends the 2nd inning for Naples.
For Naples, top of the 2nd, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left.
Bob, it might be a good time to just briefly run down World Series week. Starts out on Sunday when the kids arrive. They're brought into, either bussed in from Detroit or Chicago, if their planes went into there. Some of them do fly into Kalamazoo, and they're brought to the Millwood United Methodist Church, where they are fitted for uniforms. Their pictures are taken for the program, and they are assigned, or they meet their host parents for the week.
I'd back up, Tim, and say that when they do come into Kalamazoo at the airport, they are brought to the church in fine fashion with limousines. And a red carpet rolled out for the girls, welcoming them to Kalamazoo. And that probably is one of the highlights for the girls. If you can picture a 12-year-old or a 15-year-old girl from, let's say, Glendale, California, flying all the way out to Michigan. And I know the Glendale, California people that I was talking with Monday afternoon while we were preparing for the picnic were actually standing in their hotel rooms with their video cameras taking pictures of that wonderful light display that we had Sunday evening in the form of lightning, something that they don't have, and they were just excited about seeing a good thunder and lightning storm in the Midwest.
Number 20, the pitcher, Tracy Young.
Stepping up to the plate for Glendale, number 20, Tracy Young, today's pitcher. Tracy is an excellent basketball player, we understand. And Tracy's staying with Wilma and Jack DeCorn. Takes a strike from Benici.
Come on, Trace.
Line shot, right at Angela Curlew. She flips it over to Crystal Hamilton. Ball was hit right on a button, but Curlew moved over towards second, picked it off, and threw her out.
Number 17, playing 3rd base, Darlene Anderson.
Darlene Anderson, the 3rd baseman, steps to the plate. She kind of walked halfway back to the dugout, like maybe...
I thought maybe she was going to have a pinch hitter, and I couldn't figure out why she was coming back to the dugout, but apparently her manager, Ron Young, wanted to say something to her.
A couple of last-minute pearls of wisdom. She takes a strike. Darlene staying with Sue and Rudy Zeal. She wants to get set there. Had time for a minute and gets in, takes a toe hold, pops one up. Hamilton comes in front of Curlew and picks it off. She called it, had her hand up.
Number 13 playing right field, April McGeorge.
Made the play. We have 2 outs with April McGeorge, the right fielder. Number 13 coming to the plate. April has been staying with Pam and Wendell Worringa this week. And that one is on the knee about the outside corner. And Benisi looks tough. Shot down the first baseline, foul.
Well, I think how effective she is can be demonstrated by the pitcher in right field warming up, because she's standing there watching the ball game most of the time.
She takes one, has 1 ball, 1 strike on it. Pop up, and Hamilton calls it again. Crystal Hamilton, the first baseman, puts it away, 2 in a row. And that retires Glendale in the second inning, and at the end of 2, they've got no score here.
No runs on no hits, there were no errors, nobody left. After 2 complete innings, Naples 0, Glendale 0.
Well, this is the inning that it all happened last night, Tim, in the 3rd inning, and I believe that's when the run was scored last evening. So we'll see what Naples can do in their half the 3rd inning here.
Well, we mentioned we started talking about a typical week after the girls are outfitted and their pictures taken at the Millwood United Methodist Church on Sunday when they get into town. Each team gets a half hour on the tournament field Sunday, either late afternoon or early evening. Some of them, depending on how late they come in, even on Monday morning. Games start on Monday at noon. 2 games Monday at noon, and then opening ceremonies when the players are all introduced at home plate and given welcome to Kalamazoo bags with all kinds of goodies in them. Kind of a real nice occasion. There is a picnic for everybody. My partner here, Bob Klein, along with John Canillas and Jack Newland, every year put on a 200-300 pounds of beef on the spit, and we just have a real nice picnic with potato salad and coleslaw and jello salad and rolls, and people just kind of mill around and eat and soak in the atmosphere. And then we start playing ball.
Leading off for Naples, top of the 3rd, number 9.
Tuesday, Wednesday,
catcher,
Thursday, Friday.
Tanya Brousseau.
Till we culminate with the Saturday championship. Up the hit there for Naples to lead off the 3rd, number 9, Tanya Brousseau, the catcher. Tanya's staying with Joanne and Tim Morchek. She has a sister, Tara, on this ball team. I've been trying to find out if they're twins. I think they are. But somebody told me they weren't. Oh, she hits one right down the 3rd baseline, followed by about a foot and a half. But she really turned over on that one quick.
She got around on that ball.
Well, she takes that one high, runs the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, she didn't mean to do that, but you got the bat out there and the ball hit it.
Yeah, she was trying to check off on that one. Didn't really hurt her any other than it could have been 2 and 2. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Young looks in and wheels and deals. Tapper right back to the mound. Young throws over to Brenda Lyon, and we've got the leadoff batter out.
Number 8 playing first base, Crystal Hamilton.
Stepping up into the batter's box, number 8, Crystal Hamilton, the first baseman. Crystal staying with Sandra and John Hendricks. Takes a strike. Crystal, not the biggest ball player you'll see, and we talked about it last night in our TV game. Usually you have a little bigger person over there at first base, but she really handles the glove well. And I tell you what, anytime, I don't care how big you are, if you can't catch the ball, it doesn't help at all. And she's
That's right.
made the plays over there. Took a nice cut, just missed that, fouled it off, but the nice level cut. Runs the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. And she hits a line drive right back to the mound, and Tracy Young
Number 7 playing
picks it
second
off
base,
about eye level. The ball
Angela
wasn't hit quite as hard as it appeared at the start. And up to the plate, number 7, the second baseman, Angela Curlew. Angela was a young lady who threw the 1-0 shutout last night against Glendale to force this ball game. Angela stays with Gail Ginter. She's won 2 games and lost 1 in this World Series. She takes a whack at it, hits a ground ball over to Cindy Bennett at second. She flips it underhand to Brenda Lyon, retires the side. We got another ball game that's just zipping along here, Bob.
Well, each team has got 1 hit, and that's been it, Tim. Those both came in the first inning. In the last 2 innings, we've been 3 up, 3 down. Both girls are throwing the ball.
The collection takers, please come to the scores table, please.
With a great deal of consistency throwing strikes. We don't keep records, but there's been very few balls. I don't believe there's been a base on balls in this game yet.
Us or them? Us or them? We're standing too far out. All right.
We also would like to mention, as far as the World Series week goes, we kind of skipped over the banquet that we have every year. We have a banquet on Thursday night. That's where each team is recognized, called up to the front, pictures are taken. Teams that have been eliminated at that point are presented their tournament pins and awards. There are no trophies given out in Little League. Everybody gets a competition certificate and a pin. They do get a runner-up or a championship plaque, but not individual trophies per se.
They can't find it.
And umpires are introduced, and our MC, Dick Dombas, usually has a good time with the men in blue, men and women in blue.
Leading off for Glendale, bottom of the 3rd, number 15.
And it's probably the highlight of at least off the playing field of the World Series week.
Dick does a good job. Dick's been flying up yearly for about the last 5 years from Texas, where he's now living. Unfortunately, because of his time restraints, he has to fly out early Saturday morning, so he's not doing the public address announcing today. Paul Gray is.
Leading off the bottom of the 3rd for Glendale is number 15, the center fielder, Annabelle Camacho. She has a count of 2 balls, no strikes. Annabelle is staying with Evelyn and Oscar Heinz. And she runs the count to 3-0. We might mention that Paul Gray, in addition to usually every Saturday of the World Series week, being the man who mans the public address system, Paul, more importantly, Paul is the one that coordinates the people coming up, the competitors coming in and out of Kalamazoo, handles the transportation details.
Which is no easy deal to get 8 teams in and out of Kalamazoo.
belt works you for a walk and up to the
Number
plate.
19, the catcher, Jennifer Smith.
Jennifer Smith. She's the catcher, stays with Nancy and Al DeVries.
Well, that's the first time we've had a leadoff batter reach base. So we'll see what happens as we move through the...
She taps it back to Benisi. Benisi throws to second to Curlew, and they get the fourth. Just got her. Well, that's a big out.
Number 3, playing left field, Monica Hernandez.
Monica Hernandez, the left fielder, is up. She takes a strike. Monica is staying with Sue and Bill Kerrigan. She's got a count of no balls and 2 strikes on her. Monica showed a real rifle arm out in left field earlier this afternoon, and she moved over on Victoria Lanier's single down the line and got the ball in real quick. She went at that one about a foot over her head, though. And she fans for the second out.
The leadoff batter, number 12, playing shortstop,
And we're up to the top of the order now with the shortstop, Shannon Felez. Shannon struck out her first time up. We got timeout called. I think there was some equipment out of the dugout. Third base umpire Terry Coburn from beautiful, beautiful Vicksburg, Michigan, called time right.
Well, when Terry calls time, you can hear it from Vicksburg all the way to Millwood.
Gene Benisi gets a little bit of the rosin on, gets back up there. And she was all set to go, and Harry Peace called time. And I think he wanted to make sure. Okay. He had just had timeout, and he just wanted Gene Benisi to know that she hadn't done anything wrong. He just wasn't quite ready. And that's high, 2 balls, no strikes. 3-0. Waiting in the on-deck circle is Cindy Bennett. Had a single her last time up. She'd like to get up with some runners on base. Felez takes that one. Inside corner at the knees for a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike, her count. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Glendale, California batting. No score against Naples, Florida. Strike 2 swinging. And we have timeout called. And the Glendale coach, Frank Kornblatt, is talking in earnest to the young lady. I guess would be a nice way of saying that. Evidently he didn't like the way she swung or the pitch she swung at, one or the other, or maybe both.
Yeah, he let her know, too. In a nice way.
Fouls that one off. At the end of this half inning, Bob Klein's going to have a chance to talk to and congratulate the coach of the senior champions from Tigard, Oregon, Randy Volk. Randy's up here, and he still has a big grin on his face. That probably won't be gone for a few weeks, I would imagine. We've got a count of 3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Shannon Felez battling Gene Benisi. She takes ball 4 in the dirt. Jennifer Smith moves up to second. And Cindy Bennett, number 18, moves to the plate.
Number 18 playing second base, Cindy Bennett.
Cindy's the second baseman, and she had a line single her first time up. And we've got a timeout as they send Monica Hernandez over to first base. First base coach, that is. Maybe she is a good luck charm over there or something, Bob. There's a tapper to short, and I think that hit the
runner.
Hit the runner. Okay, that's a put out to the shortstop and a single for the batter, but all that does is look good for her batting average because it certainly didn't. That was the third out. So at the halfway point of this game, at the end of 3 complete innings of play, Naples, Florida 0, Glendale, California 0.
2 left. After 3 complete innings,
Bob, you've got a guest up here.
Glendale 0.
Well, Randy, first of all, congratulations on a national championship.
This is beautiful.
Time for the collection, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know if you can maybe...
You have the opportunity to express your support for the outstanding efforts of these girls. Tournament expenses mount every year, and your generous contributions are an important method for meeting those expenses. Thank you for your help.
We can't compete with Paul Gray, the public address announcer, but maybe you could take a few minutes here to explain to the people just what the feeling is after winning a national championship and what a long road it is to Kalamazoo.
Well, I tell you, I got to keep these sunglasses on so I don't show everybody my red eyes. Everybody in the team, moms and dads, been crying their eyes out. It's just a beautiful feeling. Our girls have worked really, really hard. We've ran into some hard teams wherever we went. And get out of state, we had to play a team from Klamath Falls. They were just great. Then we got the division, and for the first time we ran into a team from Hawaii. And Hawaii was never been over before, and they play a different style of ball over there. I mean, they run and dive to first base. I mean, we were all just going, oh my gosh. So we had to really play some good ball to get out of there. And then when we started into our regions, this Glendale, California team, their senior leagues, they beat us our first game, and we had to come back and win 2 games there. That was just tough. I mean, what that did, I'm sure, prepared us for what we saw here. And we did see some good teams. This North Carolina team that we beat, we knew that we were going to have a tough time hitting that slow pitching. We just knew it. We practiced it before, and it almost worked to their advantage to do it.
Well, we were observing during that game that, when you have a pitcher like that as the opposing manager, you would think, boy, that's just a big watermelon coming up here, and the girls will just rip the cover off that ball. But timing is so important on that.
So very important. When this group of girls right here, the same girls were 12 years old, the same thing happened to us in region. We had the same 2 pitchers, Jessica and Becky, and we went all the way to region, and we ran into a team from Gilroy, California that did the same thing, just threw little lobs in there, and our girls popped them up one after the other. In fact, Jessica, the gal that won this team here, struck out 17 batters. And we lost that game 1-0 because she walked 4 in 1 inning. And we just could not hit that slow pitching. But they really have worked hard. This is our 50th day in tournament play, and we finally just put it all together. And it wasn't real pretty, but I do believe we deserved that win.
Well, you've got it. Nobody's going to take it away from you. It's going to be a grand and glorious trip back to Oregon, and I'm sure they're just...
See that Oregon flag flying over there, let me tell you. Governor Neil Goldschmidt's real happy.
Well, it'll be there till next year, and come on back and defend your title. We look forward to seeing you again next year, and thanks for stopping by.
Thank you very much. It's
Number
been real
13,
enjoyable here.
Congratulations, Randy.
See you guys later.
Randy Volk from Taggart, Oregon, the coach. While we were chatting with him, Gene Benisi led off the 4th inning with a line drive to the shortstop, Shannon Felix, for the first out. And up to the plate is number 13, Melissa Tolson, the rover. Melissa popped that to second base her first time up. And she swings and misses.
I don't think Randy's come back to earth yet. I'm not certain he will come back to earth for at least a couple of weeks. And as he said, this is their 50th day of tournament play.
That's
so
almost 2 months.
That's almost 2 months on the road of up and down roller coasters, as he explained. So you've got to really feel for the managers, the coaches, the parents, the foster parents, and the players themselves as we go through this tournament as to what it really means to these young girls. And the fine adults that manage and coach them too.
We've got a count of 2-2 on Tolson. That last pitch was called a strike, I believe. It looked a little bit low. But we don't have the best angle. We're on the third base side. Great seats, but it's always hard unless you're right behind the plate to get the angle. Count is full now, 3-2. I've always said, Bob, as a manager, a coach, or a spectator, I've never missed a call. It's easy to umpire from anywhere but when you're supposed to be doing it. Well, that's a hot shot right back. It was a nice play by Tracy Young as she knocked the ball
Number 21 playing
down
center field,
and
Victoria Lanier.
threw out Tolson. Brenda Lyon with a put out at first.
Well, as one of the umpires told me, Tim, all calls are good. Some are just better than others.
Up to the plate, Victoria Lanier, center fielder, number 21, number 3 hitter in the lineup. She singled her first time up. Only base hit of the game for Naples so far. She's got a major league rip at that ball. Sometimes she tends to pull her head, not watch it all the way in, as is the case that time. She was almost looking at us when she swung that bat.
She'd have hit the ball, it would still be flying, I guarantee you that.
And another strong cut, but again, Bob,
I think she has the same problem I do in golf, and that is she's taking her eye off the ball. As you said, Tim, she almost ends up looking at us after they strike her. She would just watch the ball all the way to the bat. She'd make contact.
it's one of the very basic principles of hitting. Watch the ball. Keep your head on the ball, eye on the ball. She takes it low for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 batters out here in the top of the 4th inning. Naples, Florida, battling Glendale, California for the Major Division Championship of the Little League Softball World Series. The last 2 years in this division, Tampa, Florida has won. Victoria Lanier takes a called 3rd strike for the 3rd out. So Naples is
top of the 4th, no runs on no hits. There were no
trying to make it
nobody left.
another victory for the South region in the majors. And another team from Florida.
Tickets out, everyone. We've got a nice size pot of $110 for the winner. The number 249046. 249046 for $110 and a dugout doll.
At the end of this inning, at the end of the 4th inning, Bob Klein will be having another interview with Ruben Cuesta from Tampa, Florida. Ruben's an umpire, and he was the man selected to do the home plate of the championship game in the senior division. Ruben, just a real fine gentleman. When you hear, you know, you hear the expression, an umpire's umpire. That's Ruben Cuesta. Very professional. Nothing flashy about him, other than when he growls his strike. He goes, "Arr!" But Ruben goes out there and he just kind of blends in. You know, the ultimate compliment for an umpire, as far as I'm concerned, is when the game is over, you say, now, wait a minute, who umpired that ball game?
That's right. Ruben's been just a perfect umpire since day one.
Don't be anxious, hit it through
Came
the
here
middle.
about 5 years ago
Hit it through the middle,
and
baby.
worked
Go
his
ahead.
way up through the system. And he just gotten better and better and better as an umpire. Not that he wasn't good when he got here.
Leading off for Glendale, bottom of the 4th, number 11, the Rover, Veronica Acosta.
Well, leading off the bottom of the 4th, the Rover, number 11, Veronica Acosta. She grounded out first baseman of the pitcher covering in the 1st inning. She hits number 3 in the order. And she foul tips that one. She's down 0-2 as Jean Benisi is really humming the ball in there.
But Veronica did not get cheated on her swing.
No. You can tell she's a stick. And she hits a high hopper, one hop right off the plate. Benisi fields it, throws over to first. Crystal Hamilton with a put out. We've got one down. And up to the plate steps number 22.
Number 22,
Brenda Lyon.
First base, Brenda Lyon.
Brenda popped out to the shortstop to end the first inning. Her first time up. Takes a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. And then she takes a strike. 1-1. High and wide, 2 balls, 1 strike. Well, Bob, as we work our way into this ball game here in the bottom of the 4th, I guess maybe 1 run will stand up. Strike 2 on the knee. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I'm sure Ryan Young or George Pittman, either one of the 2 managers, would take a run right now.
Foul tip on the 3rd strike. Catcher wasn't able to hold on to it, so Brenda Lyon fights off the pitch and gets back in there with a 2-2 count. New life. Fouls another one off as she hangs tough. Hot shot right back to the mound again. Gene Benisi picks it off, throws over to Crystal Hamilton for the 2nd out.
Number 20, the pitcher,
Gene
Tracy
Benisi
Young.
fields that position well, and she should. She's a real fine shortstop when she isn't pitching. Tracy Young now steps to the plate. She's the pitcher, number 20. Tracy grounded out, 2nd to 1st, hit the ball hard. And if you notice where Angela Curlew is playing right now, she's, oh, nice play, Nikki Calavides. Oh, Bob. Well, that's as nice a play as you'll see. It looked like that was going to be in the hole for a base hit. Calavides with a short hop, righted herself and just threw the strike over there.
Didn't think she had enough energy to fire it that far, but she threw a strike over there.
No errors, nobody left. After 4 complete innings, Naples 0.
Well, Tracy Young has hit the ball on the nose 2 times in a row.
All of you for your generosity.
There's nothing to show for it but a couple of outs in the scorebook.
$149.42.
And at the end of 4 innings, we've got Naples 4-0, Glendale, California.
Fill in some of the people watching what it takes for an umpire to get all the way up here. What do you do in Florida, and how often do you umpire when you're at home?
When we are down home in Tampa, we basically umpire 4 or 5 games a week. We're volunteers, and you have to get chosen by your regional director to come up here. I was chosen in '83 for my first time. Then after that, I've been invited back as an independent umpire by the invitation of Bud Vandenberg. I'm very happy to come back every year. I have a great amount of fun, and I really thank the committee here for treating us real good.
Well, we always get the good umpires that come back, Ruben. It was a real pleasure for you to stop by and chat with us for a little while in between the innings here, and good luck on your trip back to Florida, and we'll hope to see you next year.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ruben.
Thank you.
As we mentioned earlier, a finer gentleman you're not going to find, and that's why we keep having him come back. And
he alluded to the fact that he was recommended by his regional director, and then there are many applications for umpiring slots that Bud Vandenberg and his committee review.
Kanizovic hits a 2-hopper to shortstop. Shannon Felis came in quickly. and made the play, threw it over to Brenda Lyon
playing right field, Karen Blanford.
for the first out in the top of the 5th.
And after Bud reviews them along with his staff, selections are made, and as we said before, there are only 12 umpires invited to this tournament. Bud does have the World Series Committee does have the prerogative to invite a number of at-random umpires, and I know that there have been a number of them that have come back. Tom Nicoletti, I know, has been here quite frequently. Ruben Cuesta, Karen King, one that is not here this year, Betty Speziale, who's doing a regional game in the boys' baseball. It's her desire, after having done the World Series here, to do the World Series of Major League Baseball in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. So hopefully in another year, Betty will be doing that game.
Well, at the plate for Tampa is number 18, the right fielder, Karen Blanford. She struck out her first time up and is at the plate now with a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes. And so far, we haven't seen any sign of either pitcher weakening. Tracy Young standing tall on a mound, rocks and throws, and called strike 3. Just a real easy windmill motion. The ball comes up there quickly. Stepping to the plate is the third baseman, the young lady who made a fine play to end the last inning, number 3, Nikki Calavides. Nikki popped to first base, and Shannon Felix, she hit kind of a little humback line drive that Shannon Felix came in and dove for. And I think, Bob, if she wasn't able to catch that in the air, that probably would have been a base hit.
For Naples,
a base hit all the way.
No runs and no hits. There were no errors. Nobody left.
But Naples, after 5 innings, has that one base hit way back in the first inning by Victoria Lanier. That's all they have to show for hitting power. And Glendale, California doesn't have an awful lot more. Cindy Bennett has both hits, one in the first and one in the third. So we've got 3 hits in this entire ball game, and we're in the last half of the 5th inning.
Well, Bob, 1 run or maybe extra innings.
How you feeling?
Young girl from Glendale, number 6, Meredith Kimber, who is under the tent getting a little medical attention. I don't know. The coaching staff was just asking her how she felt and told her that if Darlene Anderson was to get on base, she'd probably be going in to pinch run. And she just come back over to the dugout, said, I'm all right. Possibly a little bit of heat, or I know there was a player who was stung by a bee earlier today. I don't know if that might be the case.
Having played here at Millwood some tournament games and having been in the dugouts on this George Wilson field, I will tell you that those dugouts are like sauna boxes. They're concrete, there's a roof over them, but it does get warm in there. And on a hot afternoon like this, where the emotions being as high as they are, some of these young ladies just may be having a little case of jitters combined with the heat.
Well, Meredith Kimber, the young lady we were speaking about, kind of stole the show at the banquet Thursday night. Dick Dombas tries to get at least 1 player from each team involved in some kind of practical joke. And she was called up to read with passion, as Dick says, the collection slogan or spiel. And one of the reasons she was called up, because on her card she put hobbies, was imitating voices. And she did a voice, kind of a cartoon type voice imitation that just brought the house down.
Well, Frank Thornblatt told me after that banquet that she's the one that keeps the team loose.
I can believe it.
And so maybe if we can get her back in the dugout or back into this ball game under the medical tent, she'll get Glendale moving.
Darlene Anderson takes a swing at the first pitch and 1 hopper right back to Jean Benisi. Jean Benisi has that play down pretty well.
Number 13
the last
playing
4
right field,
batters have
April
gone out
McGeorge.
the same way, Tim. Pitcher to first.
So we've got a quick out in the bottom of the 5th, and up to the plate, the right fielder, April McGeorge. popped out to the first baseman her first time up, and she takes a strike. Bob, we've got a carbon copy of last night going.
Almost the exact same ball game. Difference being Naples had a run at this time last night. But we're looking at the 6th inning and then possibly extra inning ball game here. As it should be for a national championship.
That's for sure. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Well, I can remember about 5 years ago at the major level where these girls couldn't get the ball over the plate, save their uniforms, and now these girls are windmilling and they're bringing the ball right in there, and we've got a heck of a pitcher's battle going right here.
As she pounds that one into the dirt, it goes foul. I think, Bob, now you could probably look back and laugh at it, but how many years ago was it? Maybe 4 that we thought that we would like to do a game on TV similar to this, and you and Paul Gray got all teed up for a Friday night game, and it was a nightmare. It was just absolutely an awful ball game for a championship game. Ground ball, another one right back to mound. Benisi grabs it, throws it over to Hamilton for the second out. Probably must have been like 40 walks between the two teams, and we ran out of light. I think we ran out of film. You guys were interviewing blades of grass, I think.
I don't know how long the tape runs on these videos, but we ran out of tape. And we had interviewed just about everyone from the ball girl to the person selling popcorn to the individual that took the grass clippings off the field and dumped them. And it was a very long, frustrating evening, to say the least. So we've come a long way, and I had some apprehensiveness about doing this game that proved to be all wrong. We've had 1-0 ball game last night in the majors. Then that Super Ball game we had this afternoon in the seniors.
3-2, and
now 0-0 in the 5th inning here in the majors. So the caliber of ball, at the same token, has gone up that same level. Every year it just keeps getting better and better and better and better. And I think that's a tribute to all the fine coaches and managers that participate in Little League at the local level. They're doing their work, and they're doing it well, because it's really showing off at the national championships.
We've got 2 outs, nobody on, with a 2-2 count. Number 15, Annabelle Camacho, the center fielder for Glendale, California. She's facing Jean Benisi from Naples, Florida. And she just took called strike 3 as Benisi mows them down 1-2-3, and we're into the 6th inning already. This ball game barely an hour old, and it's almost like being in sudden death now. Top of the 6th inning. We normally play 6 at the major level, and Naples is going to be batting in the top of the 6th. They're going to be sending up Elizabeth Bartels, Tanya Brousseau, and Crystal Hamilton. 7, 8, 9 batters in the lineup, unless we see some pinch hitters. George Pittman and Connie Ledbetter have their troops rallied over in the first base coaching box area. I'm sure saying 1 run and 3 outs will give us a national championship. Ladies?
Well, having talked to Randy Volk and sharing his emotions with us after winning the national title, you can imagine what's going through these managers and coaches' minds at this point in time, as we're down to the last inning, 3 outs apiece, or extra innings for the championship. Seems to be a bee around on the field that the girls are dancing away from. Tracy Young there was swatting in the air, but I think there's a small bee out there. Probably that hamburger smell and aroma drifting over here with the wind picking up a little bit behind us that's attracting the bees.
Well, Bob, I still didn't get a chance to check in and see if Tracy was any relation to Cy Young, but
I doubt it. But
if she is, she certainly is holding up the fine name on the pitching mound. In the bottom of the inning, while Glendale was batting, they did have Brenda Lyon warming up.
Leading off for Naples,
Is
top
the
of the
first
sixth,
baseman.
number
She
15,
came into the
playing
sixth
shortstop,
inning
Elizabeth Bartell.
to pick up a save of the last game that Tracy pitched against Shippensburg. Tracy went into the sixth with a 6-0 lead and gave up 4 runs.
Tracy had some problems last night in the last inning too, I recall correctly. So we'll see what happens here in the 6th inning. Maybe she tires a little bit.
Into the batter's box, number 15, shortstop Elizabeth Bartell. She pops one up behind the plate. Oh, nice play.
Nice play.
Jennifer Smith threw that helmet off and went back
Number
for it.
9, the catcher.
You know, Bob, anytime I've ever caught, I've always had a devil of a time when there was a foul ball. I never knew. They say it's instinctive, I guess, for the catcher to know which way to turn and locate that pop foul behind you. That is not an easy play.
Well, I've heard that about you, Tim, and I'm sure that's why you're up here doing the play-by-play as opposed to out there participating.
I've had a hard time finding the ball anytime it's been hit, any position I've played. And I really thank you, Bob, for pointing that out. At the plate, the catcher, number 9, Tanya Brousseau. Tanya grounded out pitcher to first, her first time up. We've got 1 out in the top of the 6th inning. The count is 1 ball, 1 strike. Tracy Young appearing to certainly not be tiring, throwing very fluidly. And hey, we almost got one
Back up there, hit the balloons.
Fouls one off over the third base dugout. I believe if they hit either one of us, they get a free pop after the ball game.
Well, I know that neither one of us will catch it if it comes up here.
Don't expect me to throw myself in front of you, all right? 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Close.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Harry Peace from Kaiser, Oregon behind the plate. He's done a real nice job. Tracy Young took a little bit off it. She picks up the slow roller, throws over. Brenda Lyon stretches and takes the throw. We got 2 outs. And we've seen just about all the pitchers at this level are excellent athletes and field their position well. Tracy Young had to, if Tracy Young hadn't made that play, that was a base hit. The third baseman would not have had time to throw that runner out.
Now, when I first started in Little League, I was always told, go strong up the middle. Catcher, the pitcher, the shortstop, second baseman, and your center fielder.
You can't go real wrong doing that. At the plate, number 8, the first baseman, Crystal Hamilton. She popped that to the pitcher, her only time up. And she jumps back, but the pitch was called a strike, caught the inside corner. She does stand up on the plate quite a bit, so that pitch on the inside. And she hits one on the fifth, right back to the mound, and Tracy Young throws her out. And we're now going to the bottom of the 6th, and it is sudden death now for Naples, because if Glendale scores, they're the national champs.
Well, this large crowd that's out here at Vandenberg Park is sitting on their fingernails, those that they've got left, just waiting to erupt. Most of the emotion that's out here is being shown by the girls. But I think you'll see that both bleachers will come to life in this half of the inning, because this is it.
Well, I might mention, we were talking about when the young lady jumped back from the plate and got a called strike, that the scouting report we had on Tracy Young was that she was the number 2 pitcher on this team, or one. I think they've got 1A and 1B. Cindy Bennett led things off, and then Tracy Young threw their next game, and they've been rotating. We were told, we were all real impressed with Cindy Bennett. We were told that Tracy Young threw probably as hard, but Tracy Young had a little bit of a movement on her ball. She was able to, curve the ball, and that could also be the case on that one over there. Get one coming in at you, and then all of a sudden it takes a quick little curve.
Well, it's moving, because there's only been 3 base hits in this entire ball game, and 2 of those 3 were in the first inning. So we haven't had a hit since the 3rd inning. And that belongs to Cindy Bennett in Glendale.
And she's going to be batting fourth this inning.
She could make it to the plate this inning. Jennifer Smith, Monica Hernandez, and Shannon Felez.
Leading off for Glendale, bottom of the 6th, number 19, the catcher, Jennifer Smith.
Smith, Hernandez, and Shannon Felez. The first 3 scheduled batters, bottom of the 6th inning. Jennifer Smith grounded into a fielder's choice. A safe on a fielder's choice her first time up.
But she hit the good ball to the shortstop that hit the runner.
That's right, Bob.
Which was Cindy Bennett at the time.
So actually, we got another hit there then, remember? That was the, Cindy Bennett has 2, and we got to give Jennifer Smith 1, because when it hits a runner, you get a base hit. We're gonna beef these offensive statistics up here, Rob.
Our totals will be different from the official score, because the official score did not award a base hit on that for some reason.
Well, we're gonna have to talk to Paul Gray. He and I have a running joke that whenever there's any kind of doubt, we never agree, but that there should be no speculation on that. That's right in the rule book. But I'm sure Paul will have a good reason.
I'm not sure Paul is scoring the game today. I think he's doing the announcing, but I don't think he's the official scorekeeper.
You might be right. Jennifer Smith leading off the bottom of the 6th has a count of 2 balls, 2 strikes. And she hits that one back to the mound, slow roller. Benisi picks it up, throws to Hamilton. That almost looked like that hit her on the foot, on the toe before it went out there, but nobody is questioning it.
Number 3 playing left field, Monica Hernandez.
And to the plate, number 3, the left fielder, Monica Hernandez. She struck out her first time up. She got 1 good rip in that I recall her first time up. Oh. Benisi is really throwing BBs right now. Now time is called, and Meredith Kimber, who was in the dugout, is going back over to the medical post. She's holding her head. I don't know, maybe she's got a...
I think she's probably got a headache. Yeah.
And Monica Hernandez digs back in there, takes it inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Trying to work her way on base. The base runner is so crucial right now. She takes a good, healthy cut, but doesn't come up with anything. 1 ball, 2 strikes. When these pitchers are throwing, Bob, we could be going about 10, 11 innings today. But it just takes 1 break.
Well, we're 2 outs from extra innings, and it might be interesting to see who their 3rd pitchers are, because, as you know, in Little League, you cannot go
Number 12, the shortstop.
more than, what is it, 8 innings at this level? Or 7?
It might be, I think it's 9 for majors. I think they adjusted that about 2 years ago. I might be wrong, because that would be very interesting development. At the plate, Shannon Felez, the shortstop. She struck out and walked in 2 times to the plate. There's 2 outs, the bottom of the 6th, a scoreless tie. Shannon trying to get on base. She hits one down to 3rd base.
Oh.
And that one went off of Nikki Calavides. It was not an easy play. She tried to short hop it. We'll wait to see what kind of ruling we get.
Well, I think the official score has to go with a hit on that.
Well, ball was hit rather crisply.
Ask the big boys what he's going to... You want to talk to my base runner? Can I have timeout?
Sorry.
We haven't seen the error light go up yet.
Cindy.
Coach Frank Kornblatt has called timeout. Kind of unusual here. He wanted timeout to talk to his base runner, although the batter is on deck. Unusual in the fact that if this was senior level and they could steal, there's a lot more options you've got. Here, there's really no options. Just hit the ball and try to score, right?
What you have at the major level is that you do have the young ladies in the coaching boxes, as opposed to the senior level, you have the adults in the coaching boxes, or at least one adult in the coaching boxes. So he may have just told her to carry the mail and just take off running if that ball is hit and don't stop. She represents the winning run in the national championship right here.
Ground ball crisply back to Jean Benisi. And folks, we got OT, extra innings. And we're going to go into the 7th inning now. At the end of 6 innings.
No runs.
Just a fantastic ball game for national championship.
They did award an error on that, Tim. That wasn't a base hit. That was an E5 on Shannon Felez's.
And we just got a little piece of information passed along by Mike Pressen from the Naples newspaper that it's the first time that Naples has been in extra innings in the All-Star competition. And I wouldn't be surprised that that's the first time that Glendale has been in extra innings. And as I look at the affidavit, it appears that that is correct, although I would have to say that's probably correct.
We've had extra inning ball games in the World Series before. I don't recall an extra inning ball game in a championship game, though. I could be corrected on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Bob, that if it has been, it's probably been once, maybe twice, but I don't recall one myself either. And like yourself, seen the majority of the ball games that have been here, and probably just about all of them in the finals. And we're going to be starting the 7th inning off with Angela Curlew leading it off for Naples. She's the number 10 batter in the lineup, but certainly not an easy out. Angela grounded out, second to first. Kind of unusual. Here she is. The game should be over. She's never left the lineup, and she's only batted once. hardly getting your licks in there.
Well, for Naples, to this point in time,
number 7 playing second base, Angela Curlew.
Tracy Young has only faced one extra batter through 6 innings of play.
No walks.
No walks. She's only faced 19 batters, and so that really limits the 9th and 10th batters as to the number of times up. We've just seen an excellently pitched ball game this afternoon. Both of these girls have really shown their talents. And it's just going to be a shame to see one of these teams go down in defeat. And having been here before, I can tell you it will be a tearjerker on both sides of the white lines when this game is over.
Well, she throws 2 by Angela Curlew, so Angela's up there with no balls, 2 strikes. Trying to get something going. Jean Benisi on the on-deck circle, representing the leadoff portion of the batting order for Naples. We've got 1 ball and 2 strikes, as we were able to hear some batting tips from the Naples crowd. I believe that was guard that plate, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably her father.
Or grandfather. As she takes another one, ball 2. She's worked from an 0-2 to 2 balls, 2 strikes. She hits one back to Young. Young knocks it down. Well, Tracy Young backhanded that ball and didn't come up with it cleanly. And that could be the crack, the break that one of these teams needs. Young really should have had that ball, and they did score that one in error.
No question about that one, Tim.
The pitcher, Gene Bonisi.
I think she thought she had it, and it just, as she was bringing the glove back up to throw, the ball squirted away from her. And Naples now is at the top of the order. Gene Bonisi is popped to short and lined to short. She generally makes contact. Strike one call. Bonisi hits one down the third baseline, foul. And she has 0-2 on her. Tracy Young doesn't seem to be too perturbed about anything.
Hasn't shown much emotion one way or the other on the mound today.
Excellent composure. That's a tough pitch to leave alone. That 0-2 pitch that's up around the
little league pitch, as I call it.
It looked like she had a little bit of a rise on it, and Bonisi let it go for ball one. That one is quite a bit high. Evens the count at 2-2. Oh, she got way out in front of that one. Hit that off the front of the third base dugout.
Well, I'm glad that was low because it would have been a little higher. It would have
that was coming our
threatened
way.
our lives here.
It was coming our way. Young goes to the rosin bag. Get a little of that dampness off her hands. She's got to be perspiring. We've got a beautiful day in the mid-80s. Nice little breeze. And she just put the third strike by her. Inside corner on the knees. Kind of a tough pitch.
Number 13, the rover, Melissa Tolson.
And a big out.
A big out.
That's the first out. And with a runner on first base. That's
well,
of course, they're all big outs at this point.
I haven't seen Naples play, but well, this is the sixth game I've seen him play, but for my money, Bonisi is the best hitter on the ball team. But, as Bob said, they're all big outs, and that's out number one, top of the seventh inning. At the plate, Melissa Tolson, number 13, the rover. She's popped the second, grounded back to Tracy Young, who threw her out at first base. Count of 1 ball, no strikes. Angela Curlew on first base, representing the lead run in this ball game. Line shot, Felez gets it. Oh. Well, Shannon Felez picked off that line shot, made a nice play, and it looked like she was going to double Curlew off of first base, and the throw really wasn't that bad. It's just that Lyon had to kind of got tangled up with the runner.
Two runners, the runner and the fielder got tangled up, and rather than leave the bag, she elected just to keep her foot on the bag and go for the ball.
Yeah, Frank Kornblatt, the coach, has come out, called time. We're going to talk to the pitcher and the catcher, and I have a feeling you might, I don't know, Victoria Lanier's up. Victoria is the number 3 hitter in the lineup. Has a lot of power, and I just kind of wonder if maybe they might not pitch around her. Although Jana Kanicevic is a tough out right behind her.
Well, if I can pick up anything from the motions of the 3 of them standing out there on the foul line, that we're going to have an intentional pass. coming up to Victoria Lanier, and it's just a matter of coordinating between the pitcher and the catcher which one's going to zig and which one's going to zag for these 4 balls.
Well, if indeed this is...
Yeah, she's got her arm out. She's got her right hand out. Jennifer Smith does, and they're going to walk her.
If indeed this is the case, this will be her first walk, I think, Bob.
Yes, it is. It's the first.
Well,
and of course, Victoria's up there. That ball gets too close, she could take a good whack at it, and you have to be careful because your defense is basically standing around now.
And I tell you what, the young lady that they're going to be facing, Jana Kanizovic, is no slouch at the plate. She has struck out and grounded out short to first today.
Jana Kanizovic.
Well, it just makes for a lot of good armchair managing right now.
She is the number 4 hitter in the lineup. It also sets up a force play at any base but home. And it's going to take quite a base hit, I think, to score her, even if it gets into the outfield. You just hope that the intentional walk doesn't destroy the rhythm that Tracy Young had, because she certainly had it. First pitch is a ball high. And 2-0. And so far, it doesn't look good.
Well, ifs, could-haves, and should-haves all come into play right now. And you can probably argue the move 18 different directions. But the fact is, it's been made, and the count is 3-0 right now.
And it's 3-0, and on deck is Karen Blanford. Strike. Well, Tracy Young threw that one just as good as she's thrown all day. Kanizovic, I have a feeling, is going to be sticking if the ball is where she wants it. This is what they call a hitter's pitch, the 3-1 pitch. Another one. Beautiful pitch. That was outside corner, about knee high. And now she's run the count to 3-2, 2 outs. Runners in first and second. Naples, Florida batting in the top of the 7th inning. This is a scoreless tie. Tracy Young manicuring the mound, going to the rosin. Glendale, California.
These California girls have watched a lot of television. She's a very poised young lady out there for 12 years old.
She rocks, fires, and it's just high. And I frankly don't know how Kanizovic let that pitch go, but she did. And now we've got the bases loaded.
Karen Blanford.
There's 2 outs. Karen Blanford, the right fielder, number 18, steps to the plate. She's batted twice and struck out twice. And now the pressure's on the defense, because now you can't bobble the ball. You got to make the play. And right now, we've got 1 ball, no strikes, and it looks like that intentional walk just might come to haunt them in a big way, as even though she looks very composed, she has been struggling with the control. But that one was right where it had to be. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 strike, 2 swing.
Karen helped her a little bit on that one.
Karen Blanford, from what we've seen the last 2 games, appears to be quite a free swinger. Probably not real disciplined at the plate and willing to, to take that close pitch. And now Young is 1 pitch away from getting out of a big jam here. And again, maybe a little bit of a help. That ball appeared to be about eye-high. Blanford took a whack at it, struck out. So now Frank Kornblatt and Ron Young look like geniuses, and they get out of that inning.
3 left.
Not a pretty inning, but they still were able to keep them off the scoreboard. And Jean Benisi is out there on the mound right now already for Tampa, or for Naples, manicuring the mound. She says, hey, let's go get him. Bottom of the 7th, Glendale, California, looking for that one run they need to become the national champions of the major division in the Little League Softball World Series. And what do we have coming to the plate? 3, 4, and 5.
3, 4, 5. Veronica Acosta, Brenda Lyon, and Tracy Young.
Tracy Young has hit the ball hard 2 times. Hit grounded out second to first and third to first. Both times hit the ball right on the nose. So she'll be batting third this inning. Maybe get a chance to win her own ball game, as they say.
Well, the next 5 batters for Glendale, California have all put the bat on the ball today. They've either grounded out to the pitcher, the first baseman, the pitcher. They've lined out. But they have no strikeouts in the next 5 girls coming to bat at Glendale. So we'll just have to see what happens here. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's extra innings.
Well, the crowd has certainly had their quota for entertainment today with a 3-2 final in the senior championship game and a 0-0 game in extra innings now, bottom of the 7th. Harry Peace, home plate umpire, says let's have a batter. Up to the plate, number 11, the rover, Veronica Acosta. She's grounded out first baseman to the pitcher and then pitcher to the first baseman. Takes a strike. And the mitt's still popping as the ball hits the leather. And this game is about an hour and a half old and we're in the extra innings, so it is really moving quickly. Acosta swings, fouls it off, and she is now in the 0-2 hole. Acosta in there, ready to swing. Backs away, ball 1. One ball, 2 strikes. Ball too high, 2-2. We might have to send out for some kielbasa, Bob, if we go too much longer. Have to get ground ball to second base. Curlew comes in, picks it up, flips it over to Crystal Hamilton for the 4-3 out. Up to the plate, number 22, Brenda Lyon. First baseman's popped out to short, grounded out, pitcher to first.
Number 22, playing first base, Brenda Lyon.
We'll have to get a hold of our head concessionaire, Jim Singer, over there, and maybe place an order to go.
At the rate we're going now in the 7th inning and the batter's going up and down, we may be here for another hour.
Brenda Lyon takes a ball. Strike. 1-1 on deck circle. Tracy Young, the pitcher. Lyon fouls it. And she put it up over the backstop, and we have one of the camera crew from Cable Access, a young lady up there, reached out like she was going to make the put out. And
quite possibly played on Tim DeHaan's team, by the way. She tried that left-handed catch of that ball.
Kind of fended the ball off. But she's been here for both games. She waves at the other cameraman. And again, we'd like to thank the people from Community Access for coming out. Called strike 3. Racks her up. 2 down, nobody on. For coming out on a Saturday afternoon and spending, well, they got here around 11:30.
11:30.
We're about 5 o'clock now, so they've been here for 5.5 hours, and the way things are going, we're going to be here for a little bit while longer in order for us to be able to bring this to you, and we're happy to do that in cooperation with Community Access.
Well, we have to hope that we don't go long enough in this game that the tape runs out again.
Yeah, maybe they've got an extra tape and they can reload. Jerry Brown from Access has been out here today with the crew. Tracy Young up there, 0 for 2, grounded out to second, grounded out to third. She's got a count of 1-1. Tracy, good-looking hitter, hits 5th in the lineup. And she hits another one, and it's real similar to the one the last time that Nikki Calavitas made that short hop to the left. That was not an easy play.
Playing third base.
We'll wait again and see how that's scored.
With the people out on the green batter's eye in center field, please move away from the green fencing. Thank you.
Up to the plate is Darlene Anderson, number 17, the third baseman. She's popped out to first and grounded out pitcher to first. They scored it an error, Bob.
So did I.
How about that?
I worked with Gray long enough to know what he's going to do.
And there's a ground ball to short. Bartels flips it over. I always hate to see the runner not slide into second. I think she would have been out anyway, but it makes the umpire's call real easy when the runner doesn't slide on a close play. Okay, we've got 7 innings in. 0-0 going into the 8th.
One left.
And I think from some of the comments I just heard down there by the front of the Glendale dugout that these pitchers, if needed, can go 9 innings.
Well, that'll start some wheels turning as we go to the top of the 8th there, because the managers are going to have to consider somebody they can bring in. The 2 girls that pitched last night for both of these teams are not going to be eligible to pitch today, so they're going to go down to their 3rd pitcher. And that may make a difference in this championship game.
Well, the guess from here would be if Naples goes to the bench to pitch, it'd be Elizabeth Bartels, and for Glendale, Brenda Lyon. However,
you've been wrong before, Tim.
That's another reason why I've never won a district title, Bob.
Coach Frank Kornblatt, I don't know if you could hear him or not, was just telling the girls from Glendale that are left on the bench that's...
Leading off for Naples, top of the 8th, number 3, playing third base, Nikki Calavitas.
He's telling the girls on the bench that if nobody won before the sun went down tonight, we'd come back tomorrow morning and continue this game.
Which I guess we would. Hopefully that would put us in about the 43rd inning, I think, the way this is going. At the plate, leading off the top of the 8th, the third baseman, number 3, Nikki Calavitas. She's popped to first and popped to short, and she takes the first pitch for a ball. Just cannot say enough for the caliber of pitching and the defense that we've seen here. Line drive. Oh, Shannon Felez almost made a circus catch. That was an excellent play just to get her glove on it. And I would hope that our scorer would give that a hit. But they didn't. Gave it an error.
Tough ballpark to play in,
yeah, well, I tell you. Good for the ERA for the pitcher, but not for the batting average. Keela's got over there and jumped, made a nice effort, and did get her glove on it. Unable to hang on to it as it fell down. And Elizabeth Bartels, the shortstop, comes to the plate. She played second base yesterday. She has struck out. And
wide out to the catcher.
That's right. She was eliminated, foul out to the catcher. To my amazement. She backs out. She's got a count of 1 ball, no strikes. Tracy Young out there again, kind of doing a little yard work on the mound. And then she goes to the rosin bag. And then she lays that sweet strike right in there.
Got a cat and mouse game going here between Elizabeth Bartels and Tracy Young. One of them calls timeout, the other one steps off the mound.
Ground ball to second. Tags her. Oh, nice play. Nice play. That was Cindy Bennett. Cindy Bennett grabbed that ground ball, had the composure and the headiness just to tag the base runner coming in, and then flipped over to Brenda Lyon at first for the 4-3 DP. I played a lot of second base, and it's not the easiest play in the world. It looks
that
easy.
ball could have popped out of her glove too, and both runners would have been safe. That was
It's a gamble. It's a gamble.
But that's just a natural instinct of a good ball player to go for the out and go right to first base.
You want to get two. I mean, you know, you always want to get that lead runner, and the athlete, the competitor that she is, and at the level we're at, you got to expect that kind of play. Cindy Bennett is the other pitcher for this Glendale, California team. She and Tracy Young are very good friends. They both attended a national basketball camp together. Excellent athletes. A real 1-2 punch. Tanya Brousseau, the catcher, up there. Count of 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tanya has bounced pitcher to first both times. And she pops one, and that's going to hit right on the canopy covering the medical station. Again, getting a little bit close to the good guys over here.
Too close to the good guys.
Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. We've got 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. 0-0 contest. We're playing for the Major Division Championship of the Little League Softball World Series here at George Wilson Field, Vandenberg Park in Kalamazoo, where this World Series is being held for the 9th consecutive year. Hot shot, third base, Darlene Anderson.
Never get her, never get her.
She was thinking about throwing before she had the ball. That should be an error. And that is.
Number 8, playing first base, Crystal.
Ball was hit right on the nose, but right at Anderson. There are 2 outs. And Crystal Hamilton, the first baseman, comes to the plate. She's popped that to the pitcher and grounded at first base, or pitcher to the first baseman, and 2 times at bat. Tanya Brousseau at first base for Naples represents the lead run. And it appears that maybe Young is maybe starting to tire a little bit because the batters are starting to get around on her just a little bit more, Bob.
I've noticed that. I was just going to comment on that. Naples has made good contact with the ball this inning. And even though there are 2 outs, there have been some line drives and some real screamers hit off these bats.
Got a count of 1-1 now. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Crystal Hamilton at the plate. And as the wind gusts up, it took away Bob Klein's scorecard there.
Well, we could be in big trouble now.
1 ball, 2 strikes now. And our one of our guests, Ruben Cuesta, comes to our rescue and gets it off the top of the dugout. Thanks, Ruben.
Yeah, you can always count on an umpire to be there when you really need him.
Sure glad we said all kinds of nice things about Ruben. The count is even now, 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's 2 outs, top of the 8th inning. Naples, Florida batting. Tracy Young, again, just very deliberate on the mound for Glendale, California. Scrapes around in that dirt, gets it just right, and goes to the rosin bag. Seems to be kind of part of her ritual. And then she punches her out. So she gets out of the inning with no runs scored on her.
For Naples, top of the
And
eighth,
we're going into the
runs.
bottom of the eighth.
There were 2 errors, 1 left.
Whether the girls are getting up tighter or not, in the last 2 innings for Glendale, they've had 2 errors in each of the innings. So prior to that, the first 6 innings they were just flawless, and now in the 7th and the 8th they've had 2 errors in each of those innings. And on the other side of the fence, Naples, Florida was again perfect through 5 and has got an error in the 5th and the 6th. So we'll see what happens here as we go to the 8th.
Well, we've got April McGeorge, Annabelle Camacho, Jennifer Smith scheduled to bat in the bottom of the 8th, and they are the 7th, 8th, and 9th hitters in the lineup.
Pass it down. We got April, Annabelle, Jennifer, Monica.
And there is a flag flying out there in left field or in center field, the Florida state flag that could continue to stay out there if Naples was to win this.
Yeah, there are a group of girls from Naples that wanted to stay out there, and there's an equally determined group of girls from Glendale, California that would like to see the California flag flying right out there next to the Michigan flag and the Oregon flag.
April, Darlene. Go. Who's after April?
I look around the complex this afternoon, Tim. I don't think anybody's left this ball game. This is getting close to supper time at 20 minutes after 5. And this has just been one whale of a championship game. More than we could have ever hoped for when we started this at 3:30 this afternoon.
Now we've got
Glendale, bottom of the 8th, number 13.
one of the
playing right
fans
field,
from
April
Glendale
McGeorge.
down the left field line is trying to get the troops rallied, get the crowd into it. And oftentimes, that fan support, that parental encouragement, can make a difference in a ball game. Up to the plate, April McGeorge, the right fielder, number 13. She has batted twice. She's popped out to first and grounded out pitcher to first. Jean Benisi winds, delivers, and that ball cracks into the mitt. Strike 1 called by Harry Peace.
Gene Benici, who was supposed to have a tender leg, or knee in particular, has thrown 7 super innings of ball this afternoon and has not shown any indication that that knee hurts at all. I don't know what it'll feel like tomorrow, but this afternoon it doesn't pain her at all.
Well, the count is no balls, 2 strikes on April McGeorge. Benisi brings it in high, 1-2 now. And frankly, Bob, I don't know what it's going to take to score a run in this game. The pitching has just been superb.
Well, we'll see what happens. We're in the 8th inning. As we've alluded to, these pitchers, the starting pitchers, can only go 9. So if we were to go another inning, then each manager would have to make a change. And that's a tight situation to come into for any 12-year-old girl when you're in the 8th inning, 9th inning playing for the national championship, and they would come in the 10th inning, really.
George hang tough, fouls it off, counts 2 balls, 2 strikes. I think we ought to send out for a little suntan lotion, Bob.
It has been a gorgeous day out here, and we're just lucky it hasn't been as hot as it was the beginning of the week.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, humidity is really negligible today. Would have been nice to have about 7 of these this week. April McGeorge gets a hold of that.
I think it's right at her.
But Victoria Lanier got back, able to get back and make the catch, but that's probably the best ball we've had hit today.
Annabelle Camacho.
Annabelle Camacho, the center fielder, moves up to the plate.
The first ball that hasn't been handled by the infield for Naples.
What's Annabelle done so far today, Bob?
Well, Annabelle's had a base on balls and struck out.
And she pops one up. First pitch, Curlew. Ooh, close play. Well, she popped that up towards second base, and I think with the outfielders playing in shallow.
Hey, you've got a right fielder, a rover, and a second baseman all converging on that ball. And it was one of those classics, I got it, you take it.
I think Curlew heard footsteps, as you say, or as you know the expression goes. And ball went off her glove, and not only did it fall off her glove, but it rolled out toward right field. The right fielder got it and made a strong throw into second. And that play was close. But Annabelle Camacho slid in ahead of the throw. And up to the plate is going to be a pinch hitter for Jennifer Smith. It's going to be Lisa Castillo, number 21. Lisa is a 12-year-old. She's had one pinch hit so far in this World Series. She's staying with Evelyn and Oscar Heinz. And again, like we heard in the senior game when a pinch hitter went in with 2 outs in the bottom of the inning, the coach said to her, just relax. Easy for you to say, Coach.
Well, Frank Kornblatt said, no big deal, just go up there and take your swings. So we'll see what happens.
Well, you want them to get up there and just pretend it's batting practice, but it isn't. She took a strike, which isn't really a bad idea to do when you haven't been to the plate yet. You want to see, just get an idea of what kind of velocity the pitcher has. She's behind in the count 0-1. Takes that one low, 1-1. The winning run is perched on second base, Annabelle Camacho. And I got to think if there's a base hit to the outfield, I would be trying to bring her in. Good cut by Lisa Castillo.
Might have gone off her thumb.
Yeah. She's shaking that right hand off like there was some contact with the ball. Was a foul tip. 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count. I think that some of the Naples fans think that she's faking it, but she is not. They think that this is a ploy by Frank Kornblatt, I guess.
Well, there would be no reason to ploy at this time. Man.
No.
You have a runner on second base, you have 2 strikes on the batter, and that came off her thumb, right around the thumbnail by the looks of things. She turned away immediately
and started shaking.
Pain in her eyes, shaking that hand. We just hope she's able to continue.
Well, some of the Naples fans are getting a little impatient. But you don't want a young lady to get up there that's hurt. And I'm sure Frank Kornblatt might also be giving her a pointer or 2.
Frank, she's throwing her inside. She keeps throwing inside pitches on the big girl.
Lisa, back off the plate a little. Watch the inside pitch. Inside pitch,
Might have heard that. One of the probably assistant batting coaches from Glendale relaying information to Coach Frank Kornblatt as to where Lisa Benesi is throwing that ball inside, and so they've moved the batter back off the plate for the first pitch, and now I see she's right back on top of the plate again in her old familiar stance in the second.
2 balls, 2 strikes is the count. Benici winds, throws, it's popped high in the air. Brousseau handles that foul pop. Tanya Brousseau. Guess the only thing she didn't do was throw the mask off, but it doesn't really matter as long as you make the out. And now we're to the top. No, we're not to the top of the order.
10.
We're with Monica Hernandez, the left fielder. She has struck out both times up. Both times she's been up, she's gotten 1 real good cut in each time.
Monica does take her cuts.
And we still have that winning run on second base. And I think that Glendale probably wouldn't feel real bad if Monica was to get a walk, because on deck is the leadoff batter, Shannon Files. And Shannon is a good hitter. 2-0 now.